California has been pushing the world toward electric cars for decades. By 2035, you won't even be able to buy a new gas-powered car in the state. But more electric cars means more heavy-duty lithium car batteries. And creating enough of them could be causing its own environmental crises. I'm Evan Halper. I'm a national reporter at the Los Angeles Times. I've been examining the challenges created by the transition from oil to millions of mineral-intensive lithium batteries. The pace of that change is evident as charging stations are rapidly deployed nationwide, including at this former gas station in the Washington, D.C. area that has now gone fully electric. I went to San Diego to find out about a proposed way to get materials needed for all these electric car batteries, scraping the seafloor.
We have to be bold and we have to be prepared to look at new frontiers because climate change isn't something that's waiting around for us to figure it out.
But marine biologists warn that this alternative to mining the land could be catastrophic in its own right.
When you drive a 300-ton mining machine across the bottom of the oceans, it could cause the elimination of entire species.
Other companies, like Lithium Americas, are looking to boost the domestic supply of lithium and other materials critical to batteries by digging massive new mines on public land in places like Nevada. So will California's electric car revolution be trading one environmental crisis for another? Electric vehicles have come a long way. When they began rolling off assembly lines in the early 2010s, they were so undesirable they were called compliance cars, built and sold to comply with California mandates. But California kept pushing.
By 2035, in the next 15 years, we will eliminate in the state of California the sales of internal combustion engines.
Now the state is the biggest market by far in the country for electric vehicles, and one of the biggest in the world. Worldwide, 1.7 million electric vehicles are sold every year. That number, according to Bloomberg New Energy Finance, could soar to 8.5 million by 2025. The vehicles rely on heavy-duty lithium batteries. Those batteries are made up of rare earth minerals and critical metals, which are mined in places like Australia and Chile and refined in facilities abroad that are overwhelmingly owned or controlled by China. Today, China dominates the battery supply chain. But the Biden administration wants that to change. In June, the president ordered the Departments of Energy and the Interior to help the industry bolster mining and processing of battery materials. To meet the projected surge in demand, some companies have proposed new ways of obtaining the raw materials, claiming they're more environmentally friendly. The metals company, the one looking to scrape the seafloor, has its eyes set on a region of the Pacific that lies between Hawaii and Mexico. They want to harvest the ocean floor for nodules formed over millions of years that are full of materials critical to electric car batteries.
The great thing about nodules is that every single part is usable material. It's like having an EV battery in a rock, and they lie on the ocean floor unattached. If we compare that to the alternative on land, where we're having to rip down our forests, our trees, our plants, dig up our soils to get to metal-bearing ore, that has enormous unintended consequences.
But hundreds of scientists argue that removing the nodules from the seafloor could have dangerous consequences.
Life moves so slowly in the deep ocean. It also means that life recovers very slowly in the deep ocean. In the Clarion-Clipperton Zone, which is one of the regions where a lot of people have begun with strong interest in mining, we've just begun to discover the importance of the nodules, which are actually the target in these ocean mining enterprises, as a habitat for the species that are down there.
On land, a similar battle is playing out. Nevada is home to the largest reserve of lithium in the United States at Thacker Pass, near the Oregon border. During the final days of the Trump administration, a Canadian company obtained a mining permit to produce enough lithium carbonate annually to supply nearly 1 million electric car batteries. The mine pit would stretch over 1,000 acres, with the entire operation covering 6 times that. Lithium Americas has billed its mine as less destructive and more connected to the community.
We make a product called lithium sulfate. It's a salt, so it's neutralized. We're not putting in an acidic material back in the ground or any of that sort of thing. We're not spilling or spraying sulfuric acid. It's all contained. Our goal is to hire as many people or whoever from the tribe wants a job, to provide the training, to pay for that training, and to offer up really good paying jobs where people don't have to leave the community, they don't have to leave the areas.
But their plans have been met with intense opposition from tribal members and ranchers who say the mine would irreparably damage a pristine and sacred landscape that has nourished the community for centuries.
I want to protect our Mother Earth because got to remember the teachings that like our elders had passed on. Doing this for the next generations to come.
They're constantly spinning it as being an eco-friendly project, and we don't see it at all eco-friendly. We're very concerned those seasonal springs will go dry, which are important for stock water. They're also important for fish migration. Obviously, we need to get lithium someplace, but we need to look for the most sustainable way to get lithium and look at all of the impacts. Is there a better way to process it here? Should it be processed elsewhere? I don't think we should be trading one bad thing for another.
Lithium is just one challenge. There are several other elements needed to build electric vehicle batteries that auto industry players warn will be hard to come by if the US does not step up production. You can read about them and the communities affected in my report for the Los Angeles Times.